probably the word.
It's about closure, isn't it, too? You know, that's the buzzword, but it is about rounding something off. If you didn't have any sort of ceremony...
Well, imagine when people die and they say don't find the body or something like that, there would be, without
torture.
that ritual or those, you know, ceremonies to help you deal with that, you would never feel, you'd always maybe wonder if it was...
Absolutely.
Really, if it was true.
So what's the best way of having some sort of commemoration or ceremony? For example, viewing the body. Is that a good idea? Should people be viewing the body of somebody they love?
I think it's an individual thing. I think some people will choose to do that and can handle that. Some people won't. I mean, even like, you know, when my grandfather died, you know, there was an option to go to the viewing. I chose not to. And I don't regret that decision, but other members of my family did.
Yeah.
So I think it's
that.
it's a personal thing.
It is. I personally feel that I don't want to remember that person as a dead person. I want to remember them the last time I saw them.
Yeah.
And that's the image that I want to stay in my mind, not the cold, lifeless version of them, I guess.
I think sometimes seeing the body helps make it real for people.
And that's why it's such an individual thing. It's what you need.
I wish I'd seen my brother's body, but the funeral director recommended against it.
So why do you wish that you'd seen his body?
It had been so long since I'd seen him, and I just needed to do it. I don't know.
Yeah, like you say, Tracy, an individual thing, quite possibly, and I suppose we all have to respect how other people want to handle it. Because to me, it seems I can't imagine anyone propping me up in a casket. I don't like to be looked at while I'm living, yet alone when I'm dead. It would be very uncomfortable.
You can just look down from above and laugh at everybody. You know?
I'd zap them with lightning.
In your will, you'd probably put a little clause in there that said you had to have a jack-in-a-box type spring thing in your coffin. There was a sense of motion, and as soon as someone approached, you go boing and sit up and scare them.
Can I tell you, it's very funny that you say that, because I'd like to talk about how we would like to be farewelled personally. So let's not talk about other people now. What about our own wishes? We're talking about the need for other people to grieve. Let's be selfish for a minute. How do we want to be farewelled?
I want hundreds and hundreds of people to come to mine. I only pray that somebody comes to my funeral. I want Spirit in the Sky played. You know, that it's a really good... Yeah, not really a funeral song, but I reckon that'd be pretty good.
Yep.
And I want everybody to have a bit of fun. Yeah. But I also want everybody to cry like crazy.
Really?
I really hope somebody's sad that I die.
I'll tell you what, Leanne, you don't want much. You want them to laugh, cry.
Yeah. Well, that's a mixture of feelings. Some people die. Some people might be really happy.
I don't think so. What about you, Michelle? How do you want to be farewelled from this planet?
Well, I always say to the kids, if they ever buried me, I was going to come back and haunt them. I definitely want to be...
You say that to your children?
Yeah. We joke about these sort of things in our house. My old granny used to always say, I don't want any fuss, love, just stuff me in a hollow log and burn me.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where that thought's developed. But I guess I don't ever want to be put in a hole in the ground and left to... rot or whatever happens underground. I do not ever want that personally.
So you're talking cremation then?
Yeah, and then I don't want the ashes kept in a jar for someone to ash their cigarette in and say, you put on weight, love. So I think the ashes spread somewhere out.
Well, see, I have a problem with being cremated as well as being buried. Because when I was 10, a friend of mine was burnt very badly in a fire, and he's still alive. Thank goodness. But so fire has kind of always been a bit of a fear, so I really don't fancy that. So I've been thinking about it. I'm getting older, so I think about these things. And exactly. Let the fish eat me. I'm quite happy for fish to eat my remains, but
Really? You want?
That's the ultimate recycling.
Yeah, why not? So maybe I should die at sea and they can then bury me at sea easily.
And what about you, Trace?
Shuffleboard on the Lido deck.
Well, I kind of, when I die, I don't think it really matters because it's just my body. So actually, when I die, I want to have my organs donated if possible.
Yeah, definitely.
And my family are well aware of my wishes. So really, when I die, I'd love my family to come together and just share in that moment. But
you're not fussed about how.
In terms of my body,
it's for them.
I'm not there it's
Wow.
yeah.
You're a very sensible lady. All right,
Sometimes.
can I tell you how I want to be farewell?
Yes,
Please.
Okay, I want my family, this is in all seriousness, I'm not joking about this, I want my family to hire some actors who will throw themselves over my coffin
People actually do
and,
that.
and express grief, you know, like
Like
those
a
scenes out of
wailing
movies.
type.
Yes, wailing. I also plan to record some random remarks onto a CD which I want played from within my coffin at various stages throughout the service. Things like, my God, it's
Time to
stuffing
talk.
in here. Anything. I could think of a whole list. And I also want the song If You Don't Know Me By Now to be played as I'm hoisted towards the flames.
I want what the
Just to
world
annoy
needs.
people.
What the world needs now is love, sweet
Oh,
love.
see, that's
I want
very
that
sweet.
one
That's a
when
nice
I
song.
go behind
Yeah.
the
Better than Ding Dong the Witch is Dead.
That was my song.
Is it okay for me to tell you a funny story about that song?
Please do.
When my daughter was a bit younger, we were playing a game, and I did the whole pretend, mum's dead thing as you do, and she starts singing that song. Ding Dong the Witch is dead.
How old was she?
Oh, again, she probably would have been probably about 3.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Real innocent
I
stuff.
know, it was just so innocent. I just laughed so much.
You weren't dead for very long, were you?
I couldn't stop laughing.
You took to a little wooden spoon after that, probably. What about eulogies? Has anyone here ever had to deliver a eulogy?
Yeah, I did at my grandfather's funeral.
And how was that? Was that very difficult?
It was, but it wasn't, because I really wanted to do it. I guess that's the difference. There was just things that I really wanted to say. So, but I did actually, write it out beforehand, and I also wrote it because it was from all his grandchildren, and being the eldest, I delivered it. But I got input from all the grandchildren, and
it's lovely.
spoke about that. Yeah.
How honest should a eulogy be?
Oh dear, that's a good question.
I think you need to be truthful, but be aware of those that love the person. Be aware
Sure.
of people's feelings. If
And
there is
it's really
negative
not the time
stuff.
to bring up negative things,
No. No.
it's not the time to be negative. I don't think.
No, but if it's about your relationship with the person, I think you need to be honest about that as well.
I really don't want people to be honest during my eulogy. Thank you very much. Stick to the few
Maybe
grains
you
of
should
goodness.
write it and have
You can write it.
somewhere.
Actually, that's a good idea.
Yeah, why not?
Present this.
Why not?
I'll have it on a Word document. So
Do you know what you want on your headstone, if you have one?
Yeah, so talk about, I told you I was sick. Spike Milligan, isn't it? He's got that.
It
Something
was.
like
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. Here's a eulogy delivered by Diana's brother, the Earl Spencer, after she died at her funeral service.
I stand before you today, the representative of a family in grief, in a country in mourning, before a world in shock. We are all united, not only in our desire to pay our respects to Diana, but rather in our need to do so. For such was her extraordinary appeal, that the tens of millions of people taking part in this service all over the world, via television and radio, who never actually met her, feel that they too lost someone close to them in the early hours of Sunday morning. It is a more remarkable tribute to Diana than I can ever hope to offer her today. Diana was the very essence of compassion, of duty, of style, of beauty. All over the world, she was a symbol of selfless humanity, a standard bearer for the rights of the truly downtrodden, a very British girl who transcended nationality, someone with a natural nobility who was classless, and who proved in the last year that she needed no royal title to continue to generate her particular brand of magic.
Diana's brother, the Earl Spencer, delivering a very honest eulogy there. I was wanting to ask the question, why do we get so shocked when celebrities pass away? We all seem to remember where we were, who delivered the news, and when you do get a news flash pop up about a very big celebrity passing away, or a young celebrity passing away, it does for me at least, it does draw you in and it does give you a shock. Sometimes as shocking as hearing someone maybe a bit distant in your own family. So why is that? What is this all about?
I think because they're so larger than life and so, like their lives are so out of the ordinary that maybe we don't expect them to just die in an ordinary manner. A bit of immortality,
you reckon? Yeah.
Possibly.
And maybe we've all got our own special relationship with them, you know, especially
Absolutely.
like a musician, you know, I sing that song to me, you know, and I remember when John Lennon died, you know.
Well, I was going to say,
massive.
sometimes it's just such a massive waste of talent. It is just such a loss to the world because that amazing talent's gone. I was thinking of him.
Yeah.
And with Diana, I think we followed her life so closely, and whether we wanted to or not, it was thrust into our face every day. And so, you followed her life, you knew what she was up to, you'd been through the marriage, the divorce, how she was coping with life after royalty, and all of a sudden taken so quickly and rapidly without any warning at all.
Sometimes when famous people die, we get callers to the Lifeline crisis lines. And
they're overwhelmed with grief.
Very distressed. And
Do
if
they
it's
tell
a
you
suicide, sometimes it's like they've been given permission to suicide as well. It becomes
that's powerful, isn't it?
Yeah.
There was a lot of media around the death of remember Kurt Cobain, that lead singer of Nirvana, and I think when his suicide, there was a lot of media reports around other teenagers especially emulating their rock and roll hero.
That's fairly scary stuff, isn't it? Really, yeah. Well, have a quick listen to this. Here's a bit of a recap of how news of different celebrity deaths was delivered to us.
Good evening. Elvis Presley died today. He was 42. Apparently it was a heart attack. He was found at his home in Memphis, not breathing. His road manager tried to revive him. He failed. A hospital tried to revive him. It failed. His doctor pronounced him dead at 3 o'clock this afternoon. The end, at an early age, of one of the two most spectacular careers in the history of American entertainment, the other being Frank Sinatra's.
It's time to talk.
Details still emerging of the accident in Paris at around midnight Paris time involving Diana, Princess of Wales. What is your view of what is now happening at the hospital?
Well, I'm worried by the lack of any news or the lack of any statement. I mean, we've got this report about the concussion and about the broken arm and about the cuts to her thigh, but I think it is slightly disturbing that we haven't had some sort of official communique giving the state of her health and giving some indication of what might happen next. I don't think that's a terribly encouraging sign. As I say, superficially, concussion, a broken arm, and lacerations of the thigh shouldn't give enormous cause for concern, but one wonders if one is being told the whole truth at the moment.
Stephen, I have to interrupt there because within the last few moments, the Press Association in Britain, citing unnamed British sources, has reported that Diana, Princess of Wales, has died. This is not yet confirmed by any official source. So an unconfirmed source from the Press Association is that Diana, Princess of Wales, has died. And as soon as there is any further news, we will bring it to you.
This is BBC Television from London. A short while ago, Buckingham Palace confirmed the death of Diana, Princess of Wales. The princess died following a car accident in Paris. She was 36. BBC Television will bring you more information as we receive.
And we're just getting this in right now, and it's very, very sad news, Jim Moray, and to all of our viewers. Both the Los Angeles Times and CBS News are both now reporting that Michael Jackson has died. Now, CNN has not confirmed that, but the LA Times and CBS News are reporting that Michael Jackson, 50 years old, the king of pop, has died. A very, very sad moment.
And there's how the news of some celebrity deaths was delivered to us. And as Leanne, you were saying before, some people really, experience grief and loss over the death of celebrities.
Yeah.
It's quite amazing stuff, really.
That's right.
We spoke earlier about how we explain death to children and how they come to learn that all life comes to an end. But surely one of the most painful experiences a person can go through is the loss of a child. When a parent loses a child, that grief, it just must be indescribable.